Welcome to Fitzy's Fabulous Scrapbooks. I'm Michelle Fitzgerald, aka Fitzy, and I'm an independent advisor for Creative Memories Scrapbooks. And I'm here to help you make your scrapbooks fabulous. Today we're going to try something new. So I'm just going to get us right down to my workspace and we'll get started. All right. So I'm going to be working with the Polar Lights collection. I don't know if any of you have had the opportunity to look at it or play with it at all, but oh my heavens, these are my colors. I love this collection. I can't wait. Well, not that I'm wishing bad weather up here in Massachusetts, but a little snow would be nice. So then I'd have some photos to use the paper with. Whoa. But I'm sure I'll find other things to do with it as well. It's not just for snow, which is great. All right. So I just want to show you a little something before we start what we're going to create. These borders are gorgeous and they're flocked. So if you don't know what flocking is, it's basically, let me just move some things out of the way here. Let's see if we can. Yeah, we'll do this. So basically, it's when you touch and feel these borders, it's like they have a little piece of felt on it or velvet. It's got that little feel to it. And it's so soft and so beautifully done. And each one just has a little bit added to it. But they're just, look at these houses, these little snow houses. And I mean, doesn't this just make you want to go out and get some hot chocolate right now? It makes me want to do that. So they're all just really beautifully done. Look at these gorgeous snowflakes and these mountains. Oh my goodness. All right. So lots of, and the little polar bears. But you get the idea, right? They're just, they're beautifully done. And the flocking just, I don't know, it really makes it, for me, very special. All right, so I'm going to put these up to the side. I just wanted you to get an idea of what those borders look like because they are really, they're just gorgeous. But the Polar Lights paper pack is what I'm going to be using tonight. But I'm also using a little bit from the shades of Polar Lights. And as you can see, they work really well together. And I think it was meant to be that way. This was no mistake by any means. If you haven't gotten Polar Lights yet, you are going to want it. I just love this. All right, so I'm going to put these to the side. And in addition to a sticker pack, it also has an embellishment pack and it has your variety map packs like most collections do. And again, the color scheme, it's all those blues and a little bit of beige thrown in. Just, it's beautifully done. So I don't know if any of you had the good fortune to get this new 110 scrapbooking border ideas and sketches. So CM has once again put out a sketchbook for their birthday week. The birthday week is over, but I was able to score a few of these beauties. And tonight I'm going to show you, oops, let me get to the page. I forgot to bookmark it, but I know what page number it is. We are going to be working on page number 6 on this little border here. Now, the reason I picked this border is when you look at it, it doesn't look that complicated. And it's really not. The only thing that I think is difficult is there are a few measurements in here that are a little odd. It's not your even 2-inch or whatever. There's a little more to it. So I'm going to go through it and show you how I did it. And you may have a better way, and that's great. But if not, hopefully my way will help you create. So I'm going to put this down here, and I'm going to show you what I already did with polar lights, and then I'm going to create another one to go with it. All right. So basically, I'm going to do the same one and let you see what my process was. So here it is, and it's just a beautiful border. I just look at the colors. They're just gorgeous. So I had a lot of fun creating this, and now I want to show you what I did. All right. So I'm going to leave that there, and I'm going to leave this here as well. The first thing I want to talk about is, if you notice, they have some little decorative border things that they created or punched out. So what I am going to be using is the snowflake chain that just came out. I think it's Snowflake Circle might be the name of it. See that pretty little design? And I wanted to show you over here for the purposes of what we're going to create tonight. If you notice, this goes from one side to the other on the top. It doesn't touch the dark base color at all. It just stays on that top layer. So what I want you to see, when you punch, this punch right here is one section, and that section right here from start to finish is 2 inches. So I know that this is 2 inches in width. And look at here on my sketchbook, this border went from side to side. So right then and there, I can say that that's 2 inches. So I know I need 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. If I'm going to do it the way they did it, right? Just want to make sure we're lining this up. 1, 2, 3, 4. And oh, one thing I forgot, because we haven't worked with sketches on borders yet. Always pretty much I would, well, I don't want to say assume, but I will always say that this is a 12-inch border unless it tells me or says otherwise. So always bank on the fact that this is based on a 12-inch border length, okay? The tricky thing here is we don't know how wide, except our punch just informed us a lot. It gave us a lot of information, really, because we know this is a 2-piece section, and these are 2-piece sections. We know that this part here is 2 inches. And if you look, it doesn't really go too much further on either end. To me, that's about a quarter inch on either side. So I'm going to cut for my base a 2.5-inch piece for the base. And this piece here is going to be 2 inches. Okay. I hope that all makes sense. And before we do any cutting, I'm just explaining everything, and then we'll go ahead and cut. All right. Now, that's one thing. Now, the second thing I want to look at is on this border. If you look here, all right, we've got a skinnier piece here and a wider piece, skinny piece, wider piece. So they go back and forth all the way down. All right. So I'm going to need a piece to be skinnier, and I'm going to need a piece to be wider. But what they did here, and I liked this idea, is they used different colors. I love that. I think it worked really nicely with what they did. So I pretty much went by this. So if you look, I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the larger width, and then I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the smaller width. Now, if we remember, this is 12 inches in length. It's not 6 pieces here, it's only 5. So we're dividing that 12 inches by 5 not 6. I hope that makes sense. Usually when I'm working with a 12-inch page or a 12-inch border, I like to do things in even numbers, 2, 4, 6 inches, because I know dividing those numbers into 12 is going to be easy. Dividing 5, because we have 5 different sections here. Look at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's going to be a little more complicated, which means our measurements are going to be a little not your typical ones. All right. But I'm going to show you how to do it, so don't worry. So what I'm going to do, and I have some pieces already cut because I had started already with that one, and because I don't want to waste paper, what you want to do is pick out 5 patterns that you want to work with. Now, if you don't want to work with 5 patterns, maybe you just want to do 2 or 3, that's fine. But for my intents and purposes, I'm kind of going along with what they did. And if you look here, there are, let's count them. There's 1 shade of gray, 2 shades. This is another shade. This one I think is a little deeper. This one's a little bit lighter, but not quite. So they've got about 5 shades here as well. All right. And I think it just makes for a more interesting border when you do that. So you are going to want, if you're going to play along, you're going to want your repositionable tape runner, your 12-inch trimmer, your border maker system, multi-purpose tool, and a pair of scissors. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do, and this is just to clear some space up in my desk, I am going to finish punching the border that I started because I do need it. So let me go over here and just quickly punch. I just wanted to show you that section about the 2 inches. I think getting that visual is important. So I have my border there, and now I carefully want to look through everything that got punched out because there are little snowflakes that come out of your punching. And if you look, I used mine right here. So this came out of the punch. All right. I popped them up on foam squares just to give them a little depth and dimension. See that? Okay. So I'm just going to get all my little snowflakes out because they're so pretty. All right. So I have all of those. The rest of this I'm going to get rid of over here just to create a little less congestion. And I'm done with my border maker system, so I can get that out of the way. All right, that's a little more space. Now I did use my 0 centering ruler when I was trying to figure things out. And for the most part, I probably could have done this without it. So it's not necessary. So I'm just going to put that to the side. Now, we're going to put this border over here because that's one piece we need. And we're going to put our little snowflakes over there. So we're getting things done little by little. You also, and I already had cut this strip, but you're going to want a piece, a 2 by 12 inch strip of paper that you don't mind covering. Okay, you're not going to see any of it. And I'm just going to put that over here with my ingredients. And now I'm just going to finish up. This is a little piece I had left from my other one. So now I determined if this is a 2-inch piece here where the borders are, and this piece is pretty big, and this piece is a lot smaller. Measurement wise, what I came up with is the smaller strips are 3/4 of an inch, and the larger ones are 1 1/4 inch. And you know what? If you put those two together, it's 2 inches. So that's how I got that measurement. All right. So I have some of these strips already cut. I might just have to make them a little smaller. So now the trickiest part for me was determining how long these strips should be, because again, it's a 12-inch long border. So what I came up with is I literally did the math and divided 12 by 5, and it came out with some wacky number. So I figured it out on the trimmer though. So I'm going to show you where to cut. And actually, let me take the trimmer and put it up close to the camera because I want everyone to see it. So if you go to the 2 1/4 inch mark, right? So here's my 2. This mark right here is the 1/4 inch. And then I'm going to go 2 marks over. So it's really from the 2 1/2 inch mark, it's 2 marks before. And you're going to line your paper up. See that number 6 there for centimeters? It lines up right with that number 6. So that's where you're going to line your papers up to cut for the length. All right, so let me show you what that means or what it looks like. So I'm going to take this one strip I have here, and I'm going to line it up right at that number 6. So I can pretty much see about half of the 6. All right, and I'm going to cut. And I'm going to cut a little bit more off of this one because this one's just a little bit longer. And for this particular layout, the more precise you are with your measurements, the better it will look. So I just want you to keep that in mind. All right. I don't know if I need all of these pieces, but that's fine. I'm just going to put that one there. Okay. So now I'm going to go back and I'm going to finish cutting these all at that same mark. And basically I have 5 different patterns. So what I did is cut a 3/4 inch strip of each pattern. But don't forget, these are double-sided. So I didn't, I could use them to do double time basically. So pretty much one strip of everything did the trick. And actually, I don't need that one. I don't even need to cut that one anymore. I wasn't using that side. All right. And then my bigger strips were 1 1/4 inch. So I made 1 1/4 inch, 1 1/4 inch strip. Ooh, I'm having trouble tonight. So I cut a 1 1/4 inch strip of each pattern that I wanted to use. You don't really end up using all that much, to be truthful. So you don't have to worry too much about it. Oops, that little piece didn't want to come up. All right, so let's just get this. These papers are just so pretty though. And this is this little print I'm cutting now is polar bears. And they are so cute. And it's funny, we went to the where did we see them? I think at the San Diego Zoo back in June, I think it might have been. So that was pretty neat. All right, so we're just going to cut this last strip. And I probably need about 2 pieces. Oh yeah, because I already have one of those. I need more. I can always cut more. All right. So that's my extra. Now let's see. I'm going to put this. Oh, and you know what? I need 4 sections from this strip. Okay. So we know by looking, let me get this. So that is what the punch looks like. And if you look at the border I've already created, look it's half a snowflake, a full snowflake, and half a snowflake. So that's what each section looks like, right? So I'm going to take this, and if I line it up at the 2-inch mark, it's going to cut this little snowflake in half. And now look at that. Here, let me turn it over so you can see it better. The dark color shows up great on white. And there's my 2-inch, just like that. All right. So I'm going to cut 4 of those at the 2-inch mark. Just line it up and cut. So as I say a lot, once you know the measurements, it's so easy to get these borders made, right? Or easy to get the sketches made. It's all about knowing the measurements, in my opinion. So let's just see. All right. So I'm going to put these 2 pieces aside because I don't think I'm going to need them, but they're here if I do. And I'm going to put this cartridge to the side. Now I think I can put my trimmer away. And the first thing I want to do, now some people may not like to do this, so you don't have to, but I'm going to put tape runner all over this piece, okay? Now, when I looked at this, I just want to be clear. To me, it looks like they attached this right to the base layer, and you could do that if you wanted to, but the reason I'm going to do it my way is if it doesn't come out exact, I'm going to keep it all to one side, and then I can just cut any excess off on the other side, and it won't ruin what I'm trying to do. So I think it might be easier to understand when you see me do it. So I'm just going to go down and put a whole bunch of tape runner on, and you do whatever works for you. But in my opinion, this just makes things so much easier and faster. And if you're like me, time is of the essence. I work for a caterer, a local caterer, and this is our busiest time of year, I think. This and probably June. And it's been very busy, to say the least. So wherever I can save some time, I will do it. So now I'm just going to put this here. And before I do any tacking down, I'm going to plan out my patterns. So, and I'm just going to copy this one now. So my first piece is going to be that blue piece there. And then, so I have a skinny piece, and then I have a bigger piece. And then the next one, the bigger piece goes on this side. Oops. And for me, it was helpful to kind of plan it out before I tacked it down. So then I didn't get confused. I can be confused very easily. It doesn't take much these days. Anybody else feel like that? Let me know in the comments so I know it's not just me. All right, so I've got those 4 out there, and then I'll do one of these. And did I need another? Oop, I guess I did need another one. Let's see. That one there. And then we get another polar bear. And blue and some trees. And the little blue polka dots. All right. So there it is. So now I'm just gonna lay this in front of me like so, and I'm just doing this because it's easier for me to see with the camera. If I wasn't on camera, I'd probably be able to just do it the way it was. But I don't want you all to have to look at the back of my head. I'm sure you'd rather see the border. All right. And so then we're just tacking it down. And look how easy this comes along. And I'm just trying very hard not to go off the edge. And that's the good thing about using the repositionable, because if I put something in the wrong spot, I can still move it. So we're just going down here. Whoops. And, you know, take your time to do line everything up so everything looks nice together. I think I got to line this one up a little bit better. Oh, that's better. All right. Oh, and I'll have to cut the piece for the base piece. I forgot to do that. So we'll do that after we get this all together. Right. So it comes together pretty quickly. It's not, you know, too difficult. All right, so there's just a little extra cardstock showing through, so I'm just going to trim off a little bit. And I love using my little sight guides. They are very helpful. All right. And this is just a teeny bit. I probably don't even need to really cut this off, but the perfectionist in me, let me tell you. Does anybody else suffer from that syndrome, being a perfectionist? Let me know. All right. So we are. And I'm just checking with the guides to make sure I'm in line. And I'm just going to hold down nice and firm. And that piece of there. I'm just going to get the bottom a little better. Right. So I want to start the blade right at the 7-inch mark. And that's nice too. I know where I wanted to cut here. So I lined that white line that's on the center up with that 7-inch mark, because that's kind of where I want to start this next cut. And I'm good. All right. And if there's anything extra funky looking, just give it a little trim. And we're good to go. All right. So, oops, let's cut our base piece. So again, the base piece is going to be 2.5 inches. So we're just going to cut that. All right. And it's coming along. Now, before I attach this to this, I want to get the snowflakes on. So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to pick 4 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, my initial thought when I was doing this is I wanted to use the lighter side, but I didn't feel like it showed up enough. So I flipped it over to the dark side, and I think the darker color does show up better on these patterns. So I'm just going to bring these down here, put a little tape runner on them, and then tack those down. How many of you watching would actually go make this order now? Were you intimidated by it, but now you feel like you could do it? Put something in the comments. I would love to know. I'm always curious about that. Do you feel like you have a better understanding of it and would be more willing to try it now that you've watched me create this? I would love, love, love to know. I hope you're enjoying this. This is really a fun one to make. Now, I'm going to take out my foam squares, and I'm going to show you a little trick with this too. If you notice, those snowflakes are pretty small. They're little. So even the little foam squares are kind of a little too big. So what I do, and I'm giving you permission to do this, because, you know, there is no right or wrong in scrapping, but I'm going to take my scissors and I'm just going to cut a few of them in half while they're still on the sheet. Okay. And now I just use a half of a foam square, and it just seems to work so much better. All right, so I'm going to put the foam square on. Oops, the backing came off of that one. Isn't that funny? Oh, I got 2. That's why. Goodness me. All right, so let's put this one on. I want it on the dark part because I'm going to use the lighter part for the snowflake. But see how hard that would have been if you were trying to use the whole foam square? So funny. All right, so there's 2. And I'm just going to do 2 more. So let's see, we've got 1. Oops. They are just sticking to me today. All right. Today was such a rainy, gloomy day in Massachusetts, cold, raw, damp. It was like the perfect day to just be home and lie on your couch, stay in your jammies, have some hot chocolate, watch a good movie or read a good book, right? Or scrapbook. All right. So now that I have my foam squares on, I'm just going to put these snowflakes in that center spot. And I'm using the lighter side of the snowflake so it'll show up inside that darker border part. Oop, and before I forget, because I meant to do this before, it's easier to put your tape runner on before you put all your snowflakes with the foam squares. All right, so I'm going to add this to this little base piece here. All right. Oh, and you know what? I see a couple little things I'm just going to trim off. Thank God for repositionable tape runner. I'd be in so much trouble without it. All right, so I'm just going to snip off. And this is the great thing about putting it on the separate piece and why I do it. So I could go and just, if anything was hanging over the edge, I could give it a little trim very easily. before I tack it down. All right. So here we go. Let's try that again. And I'm just pretty much putting it in the center. I guess I could line it up, since I do have my mat here, which is very helpful. So let's line it up here. Right. Oops, and I just moved it. All right, that looks good. Actually, trying not to get my head in the camera. Oh, the struggle's been real today. All right, there we go. And now let me finish putting my little snowflakes on. And one more. And then this little space in the middle here that doesn't have any border. If you notice, that's where I put my sticker. I didn't want to get too crazy with my embellishments on this because there's already a lot going on with all the different patterns and the snowflakes and whatnot. So you just need something simple. And I'm gonna, where are those? Yeah, let me see here. Let's see what we have for embellishments in this pack, because I have not looked at these yet. But the colors just look beautiful. Look at, we could do Wonderland like so. That would look nice. Let's see, do we have any other titles? Oh, we have titles. Oh, and look at, this is a nice light color that would show up nicely on that. So this says Wonder of Winter. I kind of think I like that one better almost. Oh, Hot Cocoa Weather. That's a good one too. So there's a lot of different titles we could go with. And just look at, we have some snowboarders here and skiers. An igloo. Oh my gosh, these are so cute. I'm going to put a wish list Wednesday video together highlighting this collection just so you can have a look at it, because it's just beautiful. Look at Hello Winter. A lot would work with this. And then look at the beautiful gems that come with it. Oh, that blue is beautiful. Look at the, oh, I love this collection. I'm gushing. All right. So that is my little border tip on the first border sketch that we have done on my channel. I hope you all enjoyed that. Let me know, put a like in the, if you want to like the video, or put a little comment in there and let me know if you liked doing a border from the border sketchbook. If you have any other ideas you'd like to see, let me know before I go back up to me, because I do have to make an announcement about prizes too from last week. Just so you know, my Facebook group is called FRQ Glitz Girls Scrapbooking Group. I run that with 2 of my other team members. It is a free group. Anybody is welcome to join as long as they answer the questions and agree to the group rules. Very simple. I think there are 3 questions, and then you just say, yes, I agree to the rules. And then we let you in. Simple as that. Anyone who is looking for a Creative Memories product and you don't already have a fabulous advisor, I hope you'll choose me. Feel free to go to my website, www.creativememories.com/user/Michelle Fitz. And as always, if you have any questions, concerns, you can always email me at fitzy'sfabulousscrapbooks@gmail.com. All right, I'm going to come back up to me now, because my friend Izzy will be very mad at me if I don't. All right. So we had 11 winners last week, and I have sent out product credits to all but 3 winners. I have not heard from 3 people. So if you are Michelle Pastor, Amy Pearson, or Angela Strickland, please contact me so I can give you your prize. I don't have an email for you, ladies. So all you need to do is email me at fitzy'sfabulousscrapbooks@gmail.com, and then I can get your prizes to you. I want to give you your prizes. Don't you want them? All right. So thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. And I hope, as always, you will subscribe if you haven't already subscribed to my channel. And when I get to 1,000 subscribers, I'm going to do another contest. Woo! So for all of you who already won and notified me, your product credits were sent to you today. So check your Creative Memories accounts. They should be there. They are there because they're not with me anymore. All right. So ladies, gentlemen, whoever is watching from here to California, to Canada, to Australia, New Zealand. I think I even saw there's somebody from India. I hope you are all having a fabulous evening, and I hope you have a wonderful week. Thank you all for watching, and bye for now.